Hey friends, welcome back to the place where quiet hearts grow louder than noise. In a world addicted to performance, where validation is auctioned off for likes, where men are told to speak louder, text faster, try harder, today we return to something sacred. We return to the lost art of silent power. This video isn't for the man who begs to be respected. It's for the one who chooses to become respect itself, to embody a presence so centered, so untouchable calm, that a woman feels it before she understands it. He doesn't chase respect, he becomes the gravity that draws it in. Modern love has been hijacked by illusion. We scroll through curated perfection and believe effort equals impact. But true respect, the kind that lives in a woman's chest long after you've left the room, is never earned through noise. It's earned through stillness, through discipline, through the sacred restraint of a man who knows exactly who he is and needs nothing more. Women, the emotionally attuned, the intuitively deep, feel what words cannot hide. A man's posture, his breath, his calm eye contact, the way he sits with discomfort without crumbling. Those are sermons she remembers. Respect isn't asked for. It's felt in the silence between words. And the man who understands this becomes unforgettable. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." When your inner world is composed, self-respecting, and anchored in principle, your outer world mirrors that. She senses it, the rare gravity of a man who doesn't seek to dominate, but simply refuses to be moved by fleeting temptations or emotional chaos. That's why today, we don't speak of control or manipulation. We speak of alignment. A man who aligns with his deepest values commands attention not through flash, but through focus. And that kind of man doesn't need to say a word. His integrity speaks. His absence echoes. This energy is more than attraction. It's spiritual admiration. It's the kind that makes a woman soften her voice when she speaks to you, pause before she texts something impulsive, and rethink the way she treats you, not because she fears you, but because she reveres what you represent. And it's not about pretending, it's about becoming so rooted in purpose, so emotionally sovereign that her tests don't trigger you, they reveal you. And when you respond with clarity instead of chaos, her respect deepens into something almost sacred. So, if you've ever felt disrespected by a woman, or confused about how to reclaim your power without begging, yelling, or performing, this is your path, not through louder words, but through quieter strength. Because today, we uncover something extraordinary, not tricks, not tactics, but 6 secret principles that will show you how to command deep, unshakable respect from any woman without saying a single word. No need to impress, just become unforgettable. Let's go start. Point 1. Emotional composure is magnetic. She respects the man who does not flinch. There is a rare kind of man who does not react at the speed of his emotions. He absorbs the chaos, lets it swirl through him, and then he breathes. While others erupt, he remains still. While others beg for answers, he waits in silence. And in this quiet restraint, this refusal to be ruled by impulse, a woman feels something she doesn't often feel in this modern world: safety. You see, women live in a world that constantly shifts. Emotions rise and fall like waves, and many men, no matter how confident they appear, are swept away by every tide. But the man who does not flinch when she tests him, when she goes cold for no reason, when she withdraws just to see if he'll chase, he becomes unforgettable. He becomes a lighthouse, and a lighthouse does not move for the storm. It simply stands. In today's digital world, where one wrong emoji can start a war, where silence is misread as disinterest, and where relationships unfold on screens, composure is a vanishing art. But it is the ultimate power. A woman may not articulate it in words, but her heart notices the man who can witness her emotional storm and not try to fix her, fight her, or flee. He listens, he watches, he waits. This is not coldness. This is presence, controlled, tempered presence, and it has a profound psychological effect. It grounds her. She begins to trust your energy because it is not at the mercy of her moods. In fact, her attraction grows, not because you react, but because you don't. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That is the spiritual core of emotional composure. It is not about suppressing your feelings. It is about owning them before they own you. The man who cannot control his emotions becomes a puppet, pulled by whatever strings a situation provides. But the man who breathes before he speaks, who lets the emotional fog clear before deciding, becomes a king in the eyes of the woman watching him. And believe this, she is watching. In the moment when she says something sharp just to test your reaction, when she withdraws affection and waits to see if you chase, when she ignores your message and checks if you'll double text in desperation, she is not trying to break you. She is trying to feel you. She wants to know, can I trust this man to remain grounded even when I am not? Your composure is your answer, not your words, not your explanations, because in those small moments, when you choose not to react, you are not only commanding her respect, you are setting the tone for the entire relationship. She begins to realize, this man cannot be shaken. He doesn't flinch. He doesn't over-explain. He leads with presence, and that presence becomes her anchor. So, if you want to command respect without a single word, master this first principle. Be still in the storm. Let her emotions move as they must, but you, stay unmoved, stay sovereign, stay you, because the woman who respects you the deepest is not the one who praises your charm. It is the one who looks at you in silence and thinks, he's not like the rest. He's unshakable. Point 2. The boundary of sacred time. A man who guards his solitude is irresistible. There is a rare kind of man who treats his time like a sacred flame, who does not give every hour, every reply, every ounce of attention just because someone desires it. And this stirs something unexpected in a woman's heart, not resentment, not confusion, but respect. Because time is not just measured in clocks, it is measured in worth, in how a man values his inner world, and in a culture drowning in instant replies, video call check-ins, and the compulsive need to stay in touch, the man who protects his solitude becomes a mystery and a magnet. He's not playing games, he's not ghosting, he's not trying to appear busy when he's not. What he is doing is living. He is nurturing the inner cathedral of his mind, reflecting, reading, building, training, wandering in silence, and he does not rush out of it just because someone is bored. This is not selfishness. This is structure. Modern love, fueled by social media and the dopamine loops of messaging apps, has conditioned many women to expect instant availability, and most men, eager to please or afraid to lose her, oblige. But in doing so, they lose the very thing that makes them compelling, their center. You want to be respected by a woman? Don't always be available. Be intentional. There's something quietly attractive about a man who says, "I'll talk to you later. I have some things I'm working on." It says you're building something greater than validation, that you have a life, not just a phone full of alerts. Remember this, women admire the man whose attention feels earned, not automatic. A woman wants to feel invited into your world, not entitled to it. And when you set the boundary that your time is yours first, not hers, not social media's, not the crowd's, she starts leaning in with curiosity. She wonders what you're up to when you're not replying. She begins to ask deeper questions, because mystery creates motion and boundaries create value. This is especially powerful in today's age, when solitude is rare and silence is misunderstood. But any woman with emotional depth, the kind of woman worth keeping, will quietly adore the man who doesn't chase the noise. She sees his distance not as rejection, but as discipline. She feels his absence not as abandonment, but as purpose. Even Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor with armies and empires to command, carved out sacred solitude to reflect and write, stating, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul. If he could do it, what's stopping us? So here's your power. When she wants your time, but you choose yourself first, without apology, she doesn't pull away. She pulls closer, not because you're manipulating, but because you're mastering. A man who protects his time is protecting something deeper, his clarity, his purpose, his energy. And the woman who truly sees him will admire that more than flowers, words, or gifts. She will admire the boundary he holds with grace, not guilt. So, hold your time like a sacred flame. Let her watch it glows from a distance. And when she enters your world, let her feel like she's walking into a rare and valuable space, because it is. That's the kind of boundary that doesn't just earn attention, it earns reverence. Point 3. The boundary of emotional sovereignty. Never let her control your inner weather. In every great story, there's a man who walks through the storm, untouched. He's not numb. He feels, he bleeds, he loves. But he does not lose himself in someone else's emotional chaos. That's not coldness. That's emotional sovereignty. And it's one of the most silently attractive qualities a man can have. Today, many men give up this power too easily. A woman pulls away, and he spirals. She posts a story with a guy in it, and he becomes restless, checking it 14 times. She goes silent for a day, and suddenly his thoughts are no longer his own. They belong to her mood, her patterns, her silence. And just like that, his entire internal peace becomes hers to disrupt. But a man who commands deep admiration is different. He doesn't lose control of his inner weather just because someone else's mood changes. This boundary is not about becoming stoic in the sense of emotionless. It's about becoming anchored. Marcus Aurelius, writing during plagues and wars, said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." A woman respects the man who feels his emotions deeply, but manages them with elegance. He doesn't shout when she pulls away. He doesn't beg when she's confused. He doesn't perform emotional acrobatics to win her back. Instead, he observes, he breathes, he gives space, not as punishment, but as principle. And slowly, she starts to feel something most modern men never make her feel: safe. Because when you're emotionally grounded, you become her lighthouse, not her lifeboat. She can be messy, moody, confused, and you remain steady, not distant, but unshaken. That steadiness is rare. In an age where validation is currency and overreaction is the norm, a man who refuses to let another storm drag him into chaos stands out. His emotional boundary is not a wall. It's a frame, a shape he gives his soul so it doesn't dissolve into others. And here's the twist. When a woman realizes you won't let her emotions dictate your reality, she may push harder. She may test you with silence, with coldness, with jealousy, not because she's cruel, but because she wants to feel your center. She wants to know, can this man carry his soul, even when I'm not easy to love? Your answer must be yes. A woman may be drawn to your smile, she may be charmed by your words, but she will only admire you when she sees that your peace is earned, not borrowed, that no matter what she does, your inner life is not up for negotiation. You don't react like a boy, you respond like a man, and when you live like that, she feels something deeper than attraction. She feels trust, she feels reverence, because in her heart, she knows this man cannot be emotionally manipulated, broken, or bent. This man leads himself, and that is the kind of man a woman quietly longs to follow. Point 4. The boundary of valuing your time. Don't let her treat your presence as a default. In today's fast-moving, scroll-heavy world, attention has become cheap, but presence has never been more valuable. The man who commands deep admiration from a woman doesn't give his time away like loose change. He doesn't become constantly available, endlessly online, or forever waiting in the shadows of her convenience. His time is sacred, not scattered. That's why this boundary matters. You do not allow your time to be treated casually. It's not about playing hard to get, it's about being hard to forget. And that begins with how you treat your own time, not just how she treats it. Most men make the mistake of overgiving, always available, always texting back immediately, always waiting on her decisions. They become a predictable rhythm in her life, comforting, but easy to overlook. Their presence loses weight because it costs her nothing. But when you value your time, when you invest it in building yourself, in creating, in reading, in being present with your purpose, your presence starts to carry gravity. It begins to feel rare, and in that rarity, respect is born. Let's be honest. A woman may enjoy attention, but she respects what's rare. Look around. We live in an age of artificial closeness. Ms. have replaced real connection. Seen is mistaken for being valued. You show her you're different by how you spend your hours. Are you just scrolling through her posts, or are you creating something of your own? Marcus Aurelius wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." A high-value man understands this. He doesn't rush to reply just because she messaged. He's not ignoring her. He's not owned by her timing. He's living in rhythm with his own mission. He responds when it aligns with his frame, not her whims. And here's where it becomes powerful. When a woman senses that you are not waiting for her approval, that you are living your life on your terms, she becomes drawn to your world. Your schedule is no longer something she can assume. It becomes something she must earn a place in. When she knows she can lose your time, she starts to treasure it. And when she asks to see you, and you calmly say, "I'd love that, but I've got a few things I'm building right now. Let's find a day that works." You are not pushing her away. You are teaching her. You are a man whose time is not rented, it's earned. That single boundary shifts everything, because time is not just hours on a clock. It is the evidence of your priorities. And when you protect it, women don't feel rejected. They feel magnetically curious. What is he doing that matters more than me? That question alone makes you unforgettable. So remember, let your time be a mirror of your values, not all access, not all hours, but deliberate, meaningful, and rare. Because in that rarity, her admiration will quietly deepen. Not because you told her to value you, but because you showed her how you value yourself. Point 5. The boundary of emotional integrity. Never beg for closeness. Create space for it. There is a quiet strength in a man who does not plead for intimacy, a gravity in his silence when she pulls away, a dignified calm in how he respects the distance, not as a punishment, but as a mirror. This is the man who has mastered emotional integrity, the sacred boundary where he does not chase affection. He holds space for authentic connection. In a world of needy texts, validation-seeking stories, and seen but ignored games, he is different. When she withdraws, he does not panic. He does not erupt in fear. He does not try to buy her closeness with attention. Instead, he does something revolutionary. He lets her feel the absence. Why? Because he knows. Closeness that must be begged for is already hollow. Attention that must be demanded is short-lived. If love must be purchased with insecurity, it was never love to begin with. A man of emotional integrity chooses not to beg, not because he's heartless, but because he's whole. He understands that space reveals what words can't, that when a woman pulls back, it's not always about him. And even if it is not his job to shrink into her confusion. Let her feel the quiet. Let her remember your steadiness. Let her wonder where your calm comes from. This boundary, not chasing, not forcing, not folding, becomes magnetic. She begins to realize that your love is not a performance, it is an offering. And if she cannot meet you there, you will not punish her, but you will not abandon yourself for her either. This is modern strength. This is evolved masculinity. Too often, men are taught that their worth is proved by persistence, that to be romantic is to hold on, no matter what. But love is not proven by chasing. Love is proven by clarity. Clarity that says, if you need space, take it. I honor your feelings, but I will not lose myself trying to hold you. That sentence, whether spoken or silently lived, is a turning point, because a woman will either lean into your truth or she will reveal she cannot meet it. Both are valuable, both are freeing. And here's the magic. When you do not chase and you do not collapse, she feels your backbone. That emotional posture becomes unforgettable. You are not reacting. You are not passive-aggressively posting quotes on Instagram. You are not disappearing to manipulate. You are simply being rooted in self-respect. And in that stillness, something powerful happens. She begins to wonder, why isn't he chasing me? Why does his absence feel heavier than other men's presence? That's when she begins to feel your worth. Not because you proved it, but because you protected it. And that is the essence of emotional integrity. It's the quiet boundary that tells the world, I do not force love. I attract what is meant for me by being deeply myself. Never forget, the man who honors his own emotions becomes the man a woman feels safest to fall for, not because he begged, but because he held space and let love come with its own legs. Point 6. The boundary of self-directed purpose. Make her see you have a life bigger than her. There is something mysteriously powerful about a man who does not orbit around a woman's presence. He is affectionate, yes. He is warm, available, emotionally intelligent, but he is also unshakably rooted in his own mission, and that is rare. This man does not live to impress her. He lives to express something eternal in him, a fire, a craft, a direction that doesn't shift with her moods. He doesn't drop his goals to answer her every call. He doesn't abandon his path just to feel needed. He includes her, but never replaces his purpose with her presence. And this creates a paradox. The more he prioritizes his inner calling, the more magnetic he becomes. You see, many men unconsciously send the wrong message when they give up too much, too soon. When they make a woman the center of their universe, she starts to wonder, what did he have before me? Where is his spine? What anchors him? And the truth is, love cannot bloom where selfhood is absent. When you make your purpose visible, when your energy is clearly tied to a deeper mission, something personal, noble, bigger than pleasure, a woman admires you in a different way. She sees that she has not consumed you. She's entered the life of a man who already has a world of his own. This doesn't mean being cold. It means having a core. It means showing up fully in your craft, your vision, your values, even if that means saying no to her sometimes. Imagine this. She texts, hoping to pull you into her emotional storm, but you're in the studio, or working on your body, or helping your family, or planning your future. You respond, not coldly, but with calm clarity. I'm focused right now. Let's talk when I'm done. That response carries gravity. It tells her, you matter, but my path matters too. And that message, though subtle, triggers respect, not frustration. Because now she knows she's not dating a boy who abandons himself for love. She's with a man who brings something real to the table. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one. Let your discipline speak louder than your words. Let your priorities sculpt your aura, and watch what happens. She'll lean in. She'll want to be part of that path, because your world, your direction, has a gravitational pull of its own. Remember, a woman may be attracted to your charm, but she respects your mission. So, build something, protect it, and when you let her in, let her feel that she's stepping into a life that already has structure, already has soul, already has direction. That's when admiration becomes admiration with depth. That's when she stops testing your focus and starts respecting your flame, because the man who can love deeply without losing his direction, that man is unforgettable. Conclusion. In a world where so many chase validation, where men fold themselves small to fit into spaces that were never designed for them, you must choose differently. You must choose to be a man of boundaries, not because you want control, but because you want truth. A relationship where respect precedes romance and depth replaces performance. These 6 boundaries are not just rules, they are signals of self-respect. When a woman sees them, she doesn't see distance. She sees a man who knows himself, a man who loves with strength, not insecurity, a man who doesn't need to prove because his presence already speaks volumes. And that's the kind of man a woman admires, not just in the beginning, but for years to come. You're not here to be consumed. You're not here to be someone's emotional crutch. You're here to build, to love wisely, to protect your peace, and to invite someone into a life that already has meaning, with or without applause. So next time you wonder how to make her see your worth, don't shout louder, stand firmer, let your actions whisper, I am not afraid to walk alone. But if you're ready to walk beside me, with honor, with grace, you are welcome. Hey friends, if today's video gave you something to think about, if it spoke to your soul, made you reflect, or lit a quiet fire in your heart, give it a like, share it with someone who needs to hear this, and subscribe to this channel for more soul-touching, mind-awakening wisdom. We're just getting started. Until next time, stand tall, stay grounded, and love with quiet power.